Okay, now we're going to do the bass clef. We have to keep it in line with what they gave us. So it says here, insert suitable bass notes and chord indications in the style of the given opening. So we're looking at bar 1, 2, 3. They gave us 4 bars, which is great. Okay, so we have here la la la. They have like an arpeggio going here. So you can see their bass note here is C because their chord is C. So we're going to follow the same kind of arpeggio style with the same rhythm that they've given us. And then they have an octave leap here and we'll follow that octave leap too. So let's get going. So we have our C written in already because this is chord 1. So I'm going to change this into a quaver. And I'm going to jump up in the arpeggio style. So 2 quavers, they fit in to the space there where there's a crotchet. Now we go to our G. So jumping the same interval as they used and using a crotchet, they used a crotchet. And now they jump up to a high C, so we're going to jump up to the C as well. And that takes up a crotchet space. And then they jump back down to E and we're going to do that. So again, look at your spacing. So a crotchet takes up the space of 2 quavers. So this is a quaver here. So you see how I'm drawing it just above here? That's a dotted crotchet, so it's in this space here. So a crotchet and then another crotchet space. Okay, now next chord we have a chord 4, so we're using our bass note as F. So we have to keep our bass note as F, but they're using a crotchet, so we're going to use a crotchet too. Now they do an octave leap, so we're going to do an octave leap down to F. Now again, watch your spacing. So when I talk about spacing, I'm talking about where I'm placing my crotchet. So 2 quavers, I draw a crotchet underneath that. Another 2 quavers, my crotchets are directly underneath that. Now, how many spaces do they jump up here? So we have on the line 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to draw a quaver because they're drawing a pair of quavers. And then they jump up. And the pair of quavers fit into that crotchet space here. And now they jump up in a triad again. And we're going to do the same. And they draw a crotchet, so will we. So we're ending on F here. We started on F, they started on G, we're ending on G. Now, our next chord is chord 5, 7. So we have our G in the bass, like we wrote in already, but we're going to change it to quavers, like they have here. So these are quavers now. And you see they jump up in a triad, so we're going to do the same thing. Now the stems go down on the left when they're up high like that. And now they jump up another triad, we're going to jump up the same. Now this time it's a crotchet. Now here, chord 1, so a crotchet again, just leave it where it is. We already had our C in the bass. Now, that is a C. It would be better if I did the C up higher up here now. But it's fine for now. Right now they jump down in 3, so we're going to jump down in 3s. And that's our crotchet. Okay, so we're following along the whole way, right? They do a dotted crotchet on the G, and we're in chord 5, so we're going to use G as well. And now they do an octave leap, and we're going to do the octave leap as well. But it's a quaver. Now a dotted crotchet is worth 3 quavers. 1, 2, 3. So it's worth all that all along here. So our next note has to be onto the 4th quaver. Now they do 4 quavers altogether. We could do that, or we could just do a long G because it is a cadence point. So for this one here, we'll follow them along. We'll keep doing their pattern. Now we're starting on an A note because we're at chord 6. And now look how many spaces they go down. So they go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go down 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we land here. And then they jump down again. And we jump down again. Now we just have to make sure that any B's that we put in, that they are natural. So let's just check because we're in a minor key, so the 7th is raised. So any B's. So the B line, here's a B. So we put a natural in front of it, okay? The natural sign. I'm going to draw a big natural here for you so you see what it looks like. That's it, okay? The natural sign on the B. Any more B's? Oh yeah, this is a B note here. It's not very clear, but it's a B note, so B natural in front of it. Okay. When you've done your bass clef, you also need to check that the leading note isn't doubled. So that means you can't have the leading note in the treble clef and the bass clef at the same time. And the leading note in any key is the 7th note of that scale, of the key you're in. So we're in C minor, so if you draw out your C minor scale, if you draw it out here, you count 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's our leading note. So don't double the leading note in the treble and the bass. So let's just check till we double it. So this is B here. That's not doubled. And this is B. No, that's a D here in the treble clef, and that's a B, so that's not doubled. So that's okay. And here we have a B in the bass, and it's not doubled up here. Okay. Now, same story, we follow the same pattern down here using the notes that we already put in. So chord 4, we already had our F in, so we just changed it to a quaver, and we're going to jump up in 3s. Now this is a dotted crotchet which takes up 3 quavers, so just remember your spacing. Okay. Now our next note here is a G already written in. I'm just changing it into a crotchet, copying the rhythm that I have here, and now following the steps that they went down. So you're on a C here and they jump down to E. So 6 steps. And it's a crotchet they use. So we'll use a crotchet too. And our stems go up on the right when it's low down, okay? Up on the right. Now, chord 2B, remember that's an inverted chord. So your bass note now is an F. And we'd already written that in. I'm just changing it to a crotchet. Now, I'm going to follow the same pattern we had here. So they're jumping down an octave. We're going to jump down an octave as well. Keeping the spacing correct. That means for the dotted crotchet, that this crotchet is going in the middle. Crotchet, a dotted crotchet is right 3 quavers. Now, following the rhythm that they gave us above, they have 2 quavers and a crotchet. We're going to follow that rhythm. Following the rhythm that's above, 2 quavers and a crotchet, we're going to follow that rhythm. Now they did 2 crotchets, so we're going to do 2 crotchets. Now look at the spacing here. So they have the crotchets directly underneath each other. Here they have 4 quavers, so we have to put the crotchet directly. Okay, so I am now going on to the last phrase. Just before I do the last phrase, I just have to finish off our last bar. So we already have the notes written in underneath the chord box. We just need to put in the correct rhythm. Now, this is chord 2B. Remember, it's inverted. So our root note now, if we look at our chord bank, now if we look at our chord bank here, our root note is F, okay? So here we go. We're just going to put in the correct rhythm now. So we're going to look at the rhythm that's given to us above, and they used a dotted crotchet, so we're going to use the dotted crotchet as well. Now look at our spacing here. We have 2 crotchets above, so a dotted crotchet is worth 3 quavers, so we need to stretch this now across. So our quaver that we're going to use, the same as them, an octave leap, is going to be below here, okay? So it's after these 2 beats. Okay, so quaver, jump. Down here. And the stem up on the right. Now, they finished here with 4 quavers, so we're going to do the same. Now it's chord 5, we've already got our bass note written in, we're just going to change it into quavers. Now look at the spacing and the leaps they're doing here, so we're going to copy the same ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, down 4. And they jump a third, so we're going to jump a third and 1 more. Now Now this is why you have to use pencil, because look, I wrote the stem here, but as I was going on, I noticed the stems need to go up on the right, okay? So that's why we need a pencil and a rubber at all times. Now, anytime we use a B, because we're in C minor, it has to be natural. Look, they did a B natural here, so we have to have the 7th is raised, okay? So we have to make sure any B's we do are raised, okay? And that's the natural sign I'm putting in front of it there. Finally, we're on our last phrase. So we have our bass notes written in. We just need to write in the correct rhythm. So copying the rhythm that was given, so sticking to the given style, we're doing our 2 quavers to start with. So again, I'm looking at my bar 1 and 2, copying the same rhythm. So here we go. Now, it was actually chord 1 they used, so we can copy the exact notes that they gave there. So starting with our 2 quavers and then a crotchet. So this is our arpeggio kind of leap here. La, 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 la. All right, up to a high C up here, and it's a crotchet. And then jumping down to the E. Crotchet. And look how my spacing here, this crotchet bass note takes up the space of the 2 quavers, and this crotchet bass note takes up the space of the 2 quavers. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about our spacing. Okay, chord 4, we already have our bass note written in, which is an F, and I'm going to copy the given bass line in bar 2, which is a crotchet, followed by another crotchet leap down to F, an octave leap. Done. Now, the next they have is a pair of quavers, and remember we're in chord 2B now. Chord 2B is an inversion, so D is no longer our bass note. Our bass note is now F, and we've written in the F already. We just have to change the rhythm and fix it according to the given opening. So they used 2 quavers, so I'm going to use 2 quavers, and then they follow that by a crotchet, and it's a leap of a third. So I'm going to leap a third. Now, we're on our last 2 bars, our cadence point here. Following the given opening, I'm doing 2 quavers again. And bar 3 here has a crotchet, so I'm going to follow that with a crotchet. And again, it's leaping a third. Now I just noticed I have a B here, and I have to put a natural in front of the B. Okay, you have to put a natural in front of the B in a minor key because it's a raised 7th, that's the 7th note. Now chord 1. I'm doing a crotchet as given above, and followed by another crotchet. Now the 2 crotchets I use here, look at the spacing again. 2 quavers, 2 quavers. The crotchets are directly underneath those 2 quavers, and we're in our last bar. This is chord 2B again, 2B going to 5. So 2B is the F note, and it's a dotted crotchet. So put your dot after it, and then you have a quaver. Now, I'm looking at the chords we have here. We have 3 chord boxes. So we're in 4/4, that's our time signature. So what I'm going to do, instead of doing the dotted crotchet, I'm going to do 2 crotchets. I'm going to change it. 2 crotchets, and I'm going to finish with a minim. Okay, so that's where you need to have a rubber there. So crotchet, crotchet, and the most important thing is that the note that's directly underneath the chord box is the correct bass note. Right, we need to go through it now and make sure that if we wrote in any B's, that we have naturals in front of it. And we also need to check that we didn't double the leading note, okay? The leading note. So in a minor key, don't double the leading note. That means you can't have B in the treble clef and the bass clef. All right, here we go, let's check. So B natural there. Now you'll see I have a B natural here, and I have a B natural here. But actually the bass clef changes there, so that's fine, so that's not doubled. Just looking out to see, did I double it anywhere? Okay, that's our piece finished. I've written in my phrase marks. I have my cadence points. Okay, we're done.